welcome to today's video. My name's Stephanie, and today I'm going to be showing you my best polishes for the month of December. Can you believe we are back with the final installment of my birth month series, at least for 2024? Because if you don't know, I started the series only in March of this year, so I do technically still have a couple of months left, but it is crazy that we are just already at the end of the year. And if you aren't familiar with the series, I basically am inspired by each month's birthstones, zodiac signs, flowers, and even holidays to create this little curated lineup. Since there are so many different inspirations, the lineups aren't always the most cohesive, but sometimes there are some patterns and repetitions that we might see with some colors. So I will save more of my thoughts for the end. For now, let's just get into the swatches. The first polish I have is Holo Hydropower, which I think is the perfect color match to December's birthstones, Zircon and blue Topaz. Zircon is one of the Earth's oldest minerals, and it was valued for its healing properties during the Middle Ages, while blue Topaz symbolizes channeling your inner wisdom, which leads to opportunities and success. But even for more practical uses, like in jewelry, I feel like these birthstones are just so beautiful. I know they can come in some different shades of blue, but I especially love this one. So we continue December in Sagittarius season, which is such a lively fire sign known for its spontaneity and childlike wonder. I chose Kathleen & Co.'s release to sort of capture that energy of releasing your inhibitions and embracing your authentic self. I know the shade isn't particularly fiery, but I just really love this combination of pink and purple and red. It still feels very fitting for a Sagittarius, at least for me personally, but I might be biased because I love this sign and I love this shade. I do have one more shade for Sagittarius though, since I mentioned last month that they're one of my favorite signs, and this one is ILNP's Last Call, which was released for a New Year's Eve collection a couple of years ago. It's this really beautiful indigo kind of base color with a stunning blue to purple to pink shifting micro shimmer. This shade just gives me peak party animal Sagittarius energy. It's so fitting with the name, and especially the color reminds me so much of like the winter holiday party season. It just felt too fitting not to include it. Later in the month, we move into Capricorn season, which is an earth sign known for its ambition, drive, and laser focus on climbing the corporate ladder. All of these things make me think of ILNP's Manhattan collection, but I was most drawn to Penthouse, one for the name, but also for being this super dark, smoky purple that's very grounding while also being a nice mix of a serious color but with a little bit of fun with that holographic sparkle. I feel like Capricorns usually have a no nonsense attitude, but they can be so fun once you get to know them. So December has two birth month flowers. The first one is technically a shrub, but it's the holly. And this is obviously so fitting for December. So I decided to go with Essie's Not Ready for Bed, which is this beautifully perfect holly berry red cream. I think hollies are most often associated with Christmas, but they can also represent other things like peace and goodwill too. I definitely love doing little holly designs for December, so I'm for sure going to be using this red for my little berries. And the other flower is the Narcissus, which I believe was shared with a previous month earlier in the year, but December's is more commonly associated with the white variety, which I think is just so fitting for the winter season. So I chose Olive Ave Snowy, which is a delicate white cream. The formula on this one is just so smooth and silky that it reminds me of the petals so much. These flowers can symbolize many things, the white ones especially symbolizing things like purity and innocence, but in general can also symbolize hope and renewal. Now, finally getting into the holidays, we have some fun ones this month, starting with National Cookie Day, celebrated on December 4th. I feel like I had to go with ILNP's cookie cutter, even though I did share it recently. It's just so perfect for this holiday as a cookie dough colored shade. Though maybe it is a bit too dark for sugar cookies, but you don't need a cookie cutter for those. Either way, it's just a sweet and fun shade. I've mentioned it before, but I just really love the idea of leaning into cookies or baking as a theme for the holidays. In a similar vein, we have National Brownie Day, which is celebrated on December 8th, and of course, I had to choose Holo Taco's brownie points from their Cookies and Crumbs bundle earlier this year. This was a delicious, fudgy, dark chocolate brown that I knew was going to be so perfect for this holiday. I think I originally had pulled this out for National Chocolate Day, which was way back in July, but even back then, I did a little quick Google search just to see when National Brownie Day was coming because I would have preferred saving the shade for this holiday. You guys know I love rich browns, and this is easily a new favorite. Next, on December 19th, we celebrate National Hard Candy Day, and I thought Cirque's jellies were the perfect finish for this food, or candy rather, since building up a jelly in 2 or 3 coats just gives the most perfect, juicy, squishy, hard candy kind of look to your nails. And I decided to go with Lucky Jelly, which is this really bright, true neutral red, not only because I love red for December, but also when it comes to hard candies, I usually love anything that's red because it's cherry flavored and it's just the best. But you can easily swap out the color for whatever jelly you choose. Either way, it's gonna have your nails looking like a Jolly Rancher, and I just love that. Next, we have National Eggnog Day, which is celebrated on December 24th. And I can imagine this holiday might be divisive. I feel like people either really love or hate eggnog. I admittedly haven't had it in years since I don't really drink milk anymore, and I don't know if they have like a dairy-free eggnog, so I'll have to look into it because back when I did drink it, I loved it. And I wasn't even having spiced eggnog back then, so can you imagine that now? I feel like it's just so yummy, creamy, sweet, and the perfect shade for this was Cirque's Milk Glass. Then for Christmas Day on December 25th, I decided to go with Noodles nail polishes, the North Pole. This is one of my favorites from Noodles. It's definitely an oldie, but it's a really beautiful ivory, creamy kind of colored base that's packed with these red and white micro glitters. I think it's just so fun and subtly festive. It kind of gives me peppermint bark vibes, but I'm not too mad at that either. I just love this shade and always wear it at least as a part of a Skittle around Christmas time because it's for Santa. And last but certainly not least, we are ending with New Year's Eve, celebrated on December 31st, of course, and I had to choose ILNP's Ball Drop. It is just this colorful rainbow explosion of iridescent confetti glitter. It's just the perfect shade to capture the magic of celebrating a new year. So that wraps up my best polishes for the month of December. As always, I can't wait to hear what you all think of my picks for this month, especially if you're a December baby yourself. I know I've talked about it before in some other videos that I'm not really like the biggest fan of the winter season, and once it hits December, I'm definitely in like winter mode. But obviously I am a fan of like the holiday seasons. I think it's just so fun and festive and definitely can be colorful, but I guess my color palette for this month was a little bit repetitive with like the blues and purples and then like the reds and whites and a couple of browns, but I still really love this palette. I feel like these colors definitely give off December energy. And like I mentioned in my intro, this isn't the last installment of my series only for the year 2024 because I do still have January and February to do. And I know so many of you guys have really loved this series and it was just so well received, which I'm so thankful for, because I remember when I first did it in March, I was really nervous about it and just so on the fence, thinking that it was gonna be like a waste of time and not really like do that well. But a lot of you guys say that this is one of your favorite series that I do, so I really am so happy to hear that. But I am a little nervous about doing the series again. Like, I would love to continue it, but my big worry is about repeating shades, since all of the inspirations are pretty much fixed with the exception of like the holidays. So I don't know. I know I can have like some wiggle room with some of the colors, but I just really worry about repeating shades. I don't really want to do that too much. And so I was considering starting in March, I can just do a more dedicated birthstone kind of series. So every month I will just have like a bigger selection of birthstone polishes specifically. I feel like that at least would kind of give like a good break before revisiting the other kind of themes of the month. But let me know what you think down below, or let me know any and all thoughts that you have so we can chat about it. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.